So, yeah. It was a pretty silly story that you told me earlier, actually, about the
kid who just started talking to me in Chinese at Panera. I'm a cashier there, and it was a whole busload of kids from a swim team, and this kid just started speaking to me in Chinese. And I don't know why he assumed. Then he was like, English? Yes, English.
Yeah, of course. Exactly. Like we said earlier, why would anybody expect the cashier at a Panera Bread and I mean, you look educated, I'll give you that much, but wouldn't expect you to know Chinese by any means. Such a weird assumption of someone to make. Like what? Makes no sense. Even like an Asian person in America, why would I expect them to know Chinese? That's like a race. That's racist. That's ethnocentric or I don't know, ethnocentric, xenophobic.
I think it's ethnocentric.
Yeah. I don't know. It's been a long day, Anna.
Yes. For me as well. I wore my Instant Lunch t-shirt. I'm a cool t-shirt guy too.
Nice. I can't wear the Hawkins Middle School one like two mics anymore because like if I tell that joke, I feel like it's wearing the band that you're going to see. Like I feel feel like that would be lame, or it would feel like I just like planned it, and feel really cheesy. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Human Interaction Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Hambone Hambleton, and today I have with me Anna Flahart. Say hello.
Hello.
Don't want to bump the table. Anna is a Lancaster comedian. We know each other from doing the mics at the Lizard Lounge, and you're also, I mean, I'm going to call you a chef.
I'm a minor celebrity chef now.
Minor celebrity chef after one show. I do have to say, it was a lot of fun.
That was fun.
I had a lot of fun last night, and I learned how to make risotto thanks to you. So I can shove it in my brother's face. He's made it before, like when I went over to eat, and it's like, yeah, it's really good, and he's really into cooking and stuff. He tries a lot of like adventurous, even though risotto's not like that crazy, but everyone just thinks it is because it takes it's time consuming, takes a lot of effort. But yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That was fun.
These are all pre-recorded.
Okay.
This is probably not going to release for another month or so. I just do them in blocks and then just batch edit everything.
Okay.
Spend like one Saturday just 12 hours in front of a fucking computer. But just for the listeners' reference, last night, from when this was recorded, Anna was doing a cooking show / class at Station 1 Center for the Arts, which is a somewhat new venue that just opened up in Lancaster. They do a lot of things.
They have like a circus school there. They have yoga, art classes, all kinds of different things.
Yeah. It was really cool. Like I said, my boss owns that building.
Okay.
And so when they didn't know what was going to happen to it, they just kind of like bought it. It was like, oh, here's another space. It was him and his business partner, which they also own the building that Whacker is in.
Okay.
And they have a studio upstairs. But I was in there when it was still like full of all the Lancaster Opera Workshop stuff.
Okay.
So like we had to go get chairs for our company Christmas party. He was like, oh, I know where there's a bunch of like folding chairs. We can go grab them. And so I went over there with him, and we're up on the third floor, and it's just that's where they kept all the costumes. And I don't know what it looks like now, but it was just rows and rows and rows of like opera costumes. It was like kind of neat because it was cool and a little creepy at the same time. Because it's like how old is some of this stuff and what's attached to it, you know? So you went to Lancaster Culinary Institute, right?
I went to the it's YTI, but they have the culinary program is its own thing now, and it's the Pennsylvania School of Culinary Arts.
That's what it is.
Yes.
Okay. And then I know you tried to kind of pursue that with going to Zootropolis and working there for a little bit, but and you don't have to get like too detailed personal.
Well,
it depends. Like whatever you want to talk about.
Like after I went to cooking school, I kind of floundered for a little bit. Like I didn't know if it's what I wanted to do. I think a lot of people have that happen after they go to college for something.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I worked in a deli and I worked like in food service, but not like anything fancy.
Yeah.
But I just worked at Zootropolis for a few months and I really enjoyed it. But the line cook like schedule just wasn't working for me and I wanted to do more mics and stuff like that. So that's why I'm back at Panera now.
Hey, more power to you, because my schedule was kind of the same. I was working like a modified second shift, so it was tough to get to mics, but now I'm back on like a normal, 9 to 5-ish schedule, and I still don't go to open mics. I think I'm a little jaded. I think I've gotten a little jaded with comedy. I think I'm sick of open mics, like I've been doing open mics for 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not like I never got past that point. Well, I did for a little bit, but then legal trouble and shit like that took me out of the game, and then it just like when you're not there, you're not like you just disappear completely. So that's part of it. But now it's like, man, I don't want to keep like fucking grinding. It's too much work to just be a hobby. It's you gotta be either like you gotta be 100% or nothing basically. So that's my beef with comedy right now.
I can see that.
Yeah. So why did you decide to go the culinary route? Is it because it's something I've thought about too, like a lot?
Well, when I thought about when I got out of high school, I actually had applied to Kutztown for being a library science program. Like most of the things that I've wanted to do in my life, I feel like I would have just ended up in food service anyway, like creative, like writing and stuff like that. So I feel like just cut out the middleman and just do that.
Yeah. Well, and it's an easy job to get, like that's why a lot of people work in food service, because it's, whether it's serving or front end or back end, it's an easy, although I say it's an easy job to get, but when I was in LA and I needed a job, I couldn't even get like a dishwasher job. And it's like, this is what I did for like 3 years while I was in high school. I'm a pretty good dishwasher, like, yeah, but couldn't get, no one would hire me because I just didn't, I don't know. I didn't have job experience in LA. So
when were you in LA?
2007.
Okay.
Yeah. I moved out there, when I was 19. My best friend, like growing up, like we've known each other since we were like 6 years old. He moved out like right after we graduated.
Okay.
And then I kind of farted around for a little bit. Like I went to college for a summer semester and I failed out. I went to Bloomsburg. And then I was working full time in just a factory, and he convinced me to move out there. Okay. And we were always into like film and stuff like that. Like we made short films throughout like high school and stuff like that. So he convinced me to move out there, and we were going to write a great script and make the next great movie. And And yeah, that's that. I just decided to do it one day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's kind of rough. I lasted 9 months.
Okay.
LA chewed me up and spit me out. Yeah. Well, and it was like my first girlfriend was still back here.
Okay.
And I kind of made the decision without like talking to her at all,
Okay.
which, is valid on my part, but also kind of a dick move because we like had talked about like getting married again, 19 years old though. So, I mean, she was a few years older than me, but still we were kids, and she is now expecting her first child with her girlfriend. So yeah,
Okay.
I have a good track record with stuff like that. Which is and we're still friends. You know, there was for a while. There's bad blood, but we grew up, we matured, and put all that junk behind us, basically.
Okay.
But yeah, that's I was in LA in 2007, and then moved back here. I was living in Lebanon for a while, and then moved to Lancaster.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I lost train of thought now. You got me talking about myself. Since we're talking about the culinary and the Pennsylvania Institute
Pennsylvania School of Culinary
School.
Arts.
I like Institute better. I'm gonna change its name for it. What's your favorite dish to cook?
I think I like baking more than I like cooking.
Okay.
And I like making this thing called Millionaire Shortbread. It's basically homemade Twix bars. Like you make the cookie part, and then you make a caramel part and melt chocolate on top. Simple.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite thing.
Yeah, it sounds almost like a tandy cake, like that's the classic Pennsylvania Dutch dish, or like dessert. Yeah, I could never get baking down, to be honest, unless it's like, prepackaged cookies that you just throw in the oven for whatever. But baking was always tough. I'm a decent cook, but I'm not no gourmet chef or anything like that. But I can like cook a meal,
Yeah.
But yeah, baking. The only time I ever tried baking, like actual baking, I tried to make a red velvet cake. Yeah, which is pretty tough to make well if you're not an experienced baker. But I made it from scratch for that my first girlfriend. After years after, when I was trying to get back together with her, I was like, I'm gonna make. I went and got heart-shaped cake pan, and made a red velvet double layer red velvet heart-shaped cake, and found out on Valentine's Day that she had started dating someone else. So yeah, that's again no bad blood, but no bad feelings or anything. But yeah. I don't have the best track record with relationships and dating. So we were talking about comedy earlier. Like what made you make that crazy decision to like go and try it out? Because if I remember correctly, you kind of came and observed. You audited a few classes before you actually got up on stage.
I think like one time. I think I came one time. Before I actually did it, and then I didn't come back for a while.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a sad story.
It usually is. Don't worry.
My grandma passed away.
Okay.
And like I was living with my grandparents at the time, and I was sad, and
right.
Like I had like a feel like. I mean, it's cliche, but it made me think about like, you want to like, I don't know. It was like my seize the day, carpe diem kind of thing.
Yeah,
like dealing with thinking about death. Like I don't want to not do all the things like I want to do. So
yeah.
That's why I did that because I always wanted to do something with writing, and so that's what I did.
Right,
so.
right. Have you like dabbled in like creative writing just as a hobby? Because I used to do that too.
I have like some short stories and
me too.
Like like a kind of a rough idea for a novel, like
yeah,
but nothing that I'm like ready to show anybody yet.
Right.
Yeah.
I know the feeling exactly. I had a friend on who he's a pretty accomplished writer and director. He's been at a lot of film festivals for the shorts that he's made and stuff like that. And I've had this idea for a script for a long time. And I have like a little teaser written out. And I was like, after we finished the episode, I was like, all right, dude, listen, I never show this to anybody, but I just let me know what you think. Cause it was in like his genre. So yeah. And I don't think I've shown it to anybody. I have 3 chapters of like a sci-fi romance novella as well. That I like the first chapter. Next 2 are pretty lame. Like when I went back and read it because I haven't touched it in like 6 years. But yeah, I went back and read the chapters that I do have done. I was like, all right, first chapter's fine, but it's like going back and looking at one of my first jokes that I ever wrote. You know, it's like, yeah, the setup is all right, but man, you gotta work on that punchline. You gotta do something about it. Yeah. So let's see how you've been doing comedy for.
It's gonna be 2 years next March.
Really?
Yes.
That long? Little kids growing up right in front of me. That's crazy. I didn't think that it had been that long since I've like stopped going to open mics. Because it kind of coincided where like because I remember when you showed up for the first time, or like I remember when you started coming around to mics. And just because anytime there's a new face at the Lizard Lounge, it's like, oh, how long's this one gonna last? But yeah, that's crazy. 2 years, man. Sorry,
That's okay.
Yeah, it's just weird to think that like I don't know, because I always still think of you as like kind of the new face, but again, I make it to the Lizard Lounge maybe once or twice a month, so that's why would I have an accurate perception of time, you know? Okay, man. See, I'm usually better at this than I am right now. I'm just a little like I was saying. It's been a rough week. It's been very stressful. I'm a little worn out. I'll pick it up though. That's what the coffee's for. Okay. Back to your cooking show that you were nice enough to let me join in. It was a lot of fun. And are you planning on doing more of like a cooking show or just classes from this point on?
I kind of have to like work out how to do that because I'd like to make it more. It was kind of expensive, and I would like to make it more affordable for people. Yeah. Because my Instagram name and the name of the classes is Hangry, Young, and Poor, so I feel like I have to make it affordable.
Yeah, and
for people. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's a play off of the name of a popular record store in Lancaster, which is Angry, Young, and Poor. And I like it. I think it's very creative. It's funny. It's nice. So yeah, what direction do you want to take with that? Basically, do you want it to be like more of a cooking show or classes?
I think I'm still planning it. Like, maybe more like a show. Okay. I thought about doing like YouTube or something like that with it too.
Yeah. Yep. It's a good idea. I mean, like I said, it was entertaining, and explained it for the most part, except for telling us to put the wine in at the wrong time.
I messed that part up. Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, you explained it very well, and you made it clear. You made it obvious how easy it is to actually cook things that seem really fancy if you're willing to take the time and put the effort in. Okay. It's something I always I spend a lot of time on Reddit. Don't judge me for that, but there's always like people asking, how do you cook? Like, how do people cook for themselves? Or, people who are just moving into their like first apartment, they're like, what are some tips, some advice that you have? It's like, cook your own meals. Don't keep spending money on takeout and stuff. And then it turns into like a cooking thread where it's like, oh, I like to make this, and this is really easy. Or like, I'm a terrible cook, I can't do it. And I always say, like, cooking is easy. Cooking itself is easy. If you can follow a recipe, it's pretty easy to make a decent meal. Now, I think the issue that a lot of people have is they watch, the Food Network or something like that,
and it seems really daunting. But it's really it was really. I mean, it was really just like 20 minutes of adding stock and stirring. So, and
there are things that take even less effort than that. Like my standard meal when I'm not like too lazy and busy to go grocery shopping, which has been the past couple weeks. My standard meal is just like a chicken breast in the oven, 375 for 50 minutes, and then a pot of rice and some steamed veggies. It's like super easy to do, and you basically just start things and let them sit for a little while. And you can season stuff however you want. Like, it's really easy to make food that tastes good and is healthier than ordering takeout or going to a drive-through. Yep. And I don't know. I feel like people don't recognize that because they messed up one time maybe, and then they're like, oh, I'm never cooking again. I can't do it. No, you can. It's just you gotta just read a recipe. All right, so your favorite, you like baking. We're jumping around a lot here, but I don't care. Okay. That's how we do it here on Human Interaction. We're just two crazy kids having a nutso conversation. Your favorite dish you like baking. Your favorite is
it's called Millionaire Shortbread.
Yes, Millionaire Shortbread. So what's your favorite dish to eat, though? Which I know is a very difficult question because, like, pizza is, like
lately my favorite thing that I've had from a restaurant is this, it's from, I'm probably saying this wrong, Issy Noodle. Okay. And it's like this I think it's called Egg Noodle Delight, and it's like a ramen noodle, and it has this spicy tan pork on top. Yeah, and it's very good. That's my favorite.
I almost ordered DoorDash from them the other day because I like their the Haru Warm ramen, because that also has that spicy tan pork, which is
yes,
yeah, yeah. Again, sorry, just like space out. It happens all the time.
That and the pork tacos from Zootropolis. That was my favorite thing. Okay. At Zootropolis.
Do you have like like something that just like reminds you of home, or like that like nostalgic dish? Like for me, it's ravioli.
My favorite thing like from was my grandmother's chili. It was I can plug that I'm going to be in the Station 1 chili cook-off in January.
Depending on when in January, we might not quite make it to this episode yet. Okay. But I literally, I bank a lot of episodes just so when I give up, I still have something to put out there, and then maybe I get motivated again. It's like, I can record another episode and I'll edit it, and then just keep myself going basically. Stock up on episodes. But Station 1 is having a chili cook-off
in January. I don't know the exact date yet, but
hey, maybe we'll get lucky. And I don't have any particular order that I have to go in either. So that's I don't want to make you give away any trade secrets, but what style of chili is it? Like, because there's like Texas chili. Does it have beans? Yeah,
like just like you brown the hamburger, and you add with like a lot of minced onion, and you add she was very big on Joan of Arc chili beans. Like, it had to be specifically Joan of Arc chili beans, and no other beans would do.
Grandmas are weird like that. Yeah.
And a can of like Campbell's tomato soup. It was like it was very good. I would put sriracha and sour cream on top a lot of the time.
Okay.
But pretty simple.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. See, my dad used to make a pretty good chili too, but he likes like sweet chili. And I'm a spicy guy. Like, the spicier the better.
I'm also I like spicy myself.
Yeah. Yeah. And my unfortunately I didn't get to use them, but my friend grew a bunch of hot peppers this year, and he gave me a chocolate ghost and a red ghost.
Okay.
And a habanero. And I just never had the chance to use them. But that could have made some spicy chili.
Yes. I made ghost pepper salsa one time.
Yeah.
And it was like being maced in the face. Like,
yeah,
you have to be careful.
He also gave me that salt shaker up there. Well, it doesn't say salt on it, but one of those jars up there is a ghost pepper salt.
Oh, okay.
And I've put it in like when I'm sauteing something or something. And pepper spray your face. But yeah, that was a fun. I was trying to do like YouTube bonus content, like little videos and stuff with this, but my phone camera sucks, and I don't like. Yeah, I just don't have the quality that I want, and kind of a perfectionist in ways, and in other ways I'm not. Like, like I'll put these episodes out like, oh fuck it, I have 20 listeners, who cares? But like with video where you can like see me, I'm like, nope, it's got to be good. It's got to be good. Which is dumb, because who cares? Who gives a shit? I've been having that attitude a lot lately. Like, just who cares? I think social media has a lot to do with it, to be honest. Because like I get so like frustrated seeing like all the bullshit political stuff. Like who cares who Time Magazine picked for person of the year? Like, who I don't care. That's cool. Like, why does it matter? Does anybody read Time Magazine anymore?
I do admire Greta Thunberg.
Thunberg, I forget.
I don't know. Yeah. Like, I think that's like the kind of person, like, she's the kind of person I wanted to be when I was a teenager. Like, just like, I think it's kind of punk rock of her to
see. It's crazy to me that like teenagers are so involved in politics now, because I didn't even pay attention to politics. I didn't vote until Obama's re-election year. Like, that was the third election I was.
I think I remember that joke, or you said something about like kids shouldn't be allowed out of school. Like, you went to a Bush rally or something.
Oh, yeah. That was me in high school. Exactly. I went to see I went to a George Bush rally in Hershey. It was 2004, so it was my sophomore year. Okay. Just because the Young Republicans Club was giving away tickets for free, and it was a valid,
just a way to get out of school.
Yeah, valid. So, sorry, Mom and Dad, but I'm gonna put you on blast here a little bit. Or myself, but they're gonna hate me if they. I don't think my parents listen to this, but anyway, they the week before I got my wisdom teeth out, like that Friday, and they left for the Bahamas for a week the day after I got my wisdom teeth out. So they left me, 16-year-old me, home alone for a week with a Vicodin prescription and a valid excuse to stay home from school, And then that came up, and so I had a huge party that day. All of my friends, like we all got tickets, and it was like, hey, we don't have to go to school today. We're going to see George Bush. But the thing doesn't start till like 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock, something like that. So everybody came over to my house because my parents weren't home, and we got stoned and did a lot of dumb shit. I smoked Vicodin that day. Yeah. And then we all went to the George W. Bush rally, and actually 3 of my friends didn't even go in. They just went to Chocolate World and rode the Chocolate World ride like 15 times throughout the day. And I remember my friend, we were waiting in line at like security line, and we're probably like 15, 20 people from like the metal detector and getting patted down and wanted and everything. And he reaches in his pocket and he looks at me like wide-eyed, like terrified. I'm like, what? And he like pulls a dime bag out of his pocket. He's like, I didn't know it was there. I was like, well, fucking put it back in your pocket. Like, I think we're all right. I don't think they're looking for that shit. I think they're looking for like bombs and stuff, you know? But yeah, then I tried to hit on some like really, really cute blonde girl with a WWJD bracelet on her hand. I don't know why she decided to talk to me, but she did. And I was like, yeah, I'm having a party like this weekend. Come over, like come to my house. It's in Lebanon, blah, blah, blah. She's like, are you guys going to be drinking? Yeah. Oh, I'm not coming. Like, all right. Whatever. Lame. But yeah, that's my perception of politics from like the teenage brain. And it's crazy to me. And I don't know if I like it. You know, I think kids should be kids up to a certain point.
That's true.
It's the same thing when you have like, when we tell like little kids that there's something wrong with them because they're hyper and like running around and shit. It's like, no, they're just kids. That's what I used to spend 10 hours running around through the yard with my friends, like just causing mischief when I was a kid, because that's what kids do. And I think it's ridiculous that we keep like I think teenagers being into politics puts too much pressure on them at too early of an age to like make a decision about where they stand. Because, you know, the old adage, as you get older, you become more conservative. I don't know if it's exactly held true. I think it's actually reversed for me, but, you know, 16 years old, and people are talking about raising or lowering the voting age to 16. And it's like, I don't know if I don't even know if 18-year-olds are mature enough to make, you know, why is 18 the age of adulthood? Especially now, like we're living so much longer. I can understand when people were dying at 50. Like, okay, you've basically reached half your life. Yeah. You can make decisions now, but I don't know. It's just, yeah. So I think we should let kids be kids. But I don't think anyone's pushing those kids either to do that. I think they're making their own decisions, you know. I don't buy into that rhetoric of like, the mainstream media is using these poster children. Like, no, I mean, yeah, they are. They definitely are doing that. They're capitalizing off of that. But I don't think anyone pushed these kids to do what they're doing, except maybe their parents. Maybe their parents did, but that's their parents' choice. No one tells you how to raise your kids. Don't tell me how to raise mine. So that's, you wanted. Ooh, jeez, excuse me. You wanted to be that kid when you were a teenager.
I think I was more serious, and I just spent a lot of time by myself. I wasn't like a mischief maker and stuff when I was a kid. I was more serious and just spent a lot of time by myself reading books and stuff like that. So I think I've loosened up a lot more since I've gotten older.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. And again, reverse for me, because I was a troublemaker, like mischievous kid. I was always like really, really outgoing with people and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And maybe this is my imagination too, that I'm not anymore, because people have said they like admire my ability to just like walk into a conversation and start talking. It's just like, well, I just don't care about feeling awkward. Like it's going to be more awkward for those people than it is for me. That's basically how I look at it. Is the weirder I make a situation for other people, the more comfortable I feel because I'm bringing them to my level, But yeah, it's a I don't know where I was going with that. I don't know.
Well, and the other thing is like, when I was younger, my mom was she's chilled out a lot too, but she was very religious, and like I went to church and youth group and stuff. And then after a while I like started reading books about Buddhism, and I like thought I was such a rebel.
Yeah.
Like for being and I was
Which
I'm
like,
I don't know.
Yeah. Religion is a fascinating topic to me because like so many of them and so many of the concepts like are similar. Mm-hmm. But people like pick out like the minutia that's different, and then they start wars over that. It's like, can't we all just get along? Who cares? No one knows who's right anyway. It doesn't matter. Again, who cares? It doesn't matter. But yeah, Buddhism. I've definitely done some research into, well, and like Taoism too. I think I'm closer to like a Taoist, but.
I think at this point I'm a humanist. That's how I would describe myself.
Okay.
I guess like I don't know. Like there is just a common thread to all religions, and that's just be nice to people. So
exactly. Now it depends on what testament and texts you're reading, where who you're supposed to be nice to. But I think that's the general idea, definitely, that whether you look at like the Golden Rule. Mm-hmm. Or I don't really know that much about Islam or Judaism, to be honest, but Buddhism and Hinduism, like karma is really kind of the idea of karma that's presented differently. But if you think about it, it's just, be nice to people and they'll be nice to you. Do things to better the world around you, and your world will be better, Mm-hmm. But then again, what's your definition of better, And so that's where I would say I don't really know how you would define humanist. Like, give me a layman definition, because I don't want to shit on it without knowing what I'm shitting on.
I think there are bad apples, but people are essentially good. I don't know.
Okay. No,
for me, like, I guess I've since starting to go to the Chameleon Club and things like that, like I feel like I found a community of people that I fit into pretty well. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, like just I don't know. I'm not sure where I'm going with that. Like I don't know, like
if go ahead.
You get into like you get out of life, I guess, what you put into. And like out of your relationships with people, what you put into them. Mm-hmm. So since I've made a lot of friends since going to the Chameleon Club and like having comedy as an outlet, I don't know. I just want to, I don't know, be nice to people and make people laugh.
Yeah.
And stuff like, so I don't know. It's not like a super... I'm so articulate, like a super articulate definition of what humanism is for me, but
well, and that's the thing. Like religions and philosophies are. That's one reason it's so pointless to debate some of that stuff, even politics. When it really comes down to it, it's because a lot of it isn't fact based necessarily. It's opinion, and it's a personal definition and a personal set of values and things like that. So you're gonna find the information that affirms your bias, basically. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I asked that question because my thought is that people always ruin everything. Like there are great everything in theory has potential to be good, but as soon as you let people touch it, it's fucked. Like that's how I see the world, which is not a very optimistic view, I know, but you like, and that it's very contradictory for me too, because I agree that people are inherently good. I think that people are inherently good, but we're very easily corrupted as well, you know?
That's true.
Which sounds like I'm preaching. It sounds like I'm, and I was a good Catholic boy for like 12 years of my life, the first 12 years of my life. So, you know, maybe that spoiled me. maybe I've brainwashed to the very depths of my soul. Did you grow up? You said you grew up religious, but was
Methodist.
Okay.
Like I don't even know what the distinction is between some of the denominations.
Yeah, I think Methodist. I think a lot of the Protestant religions, I think, don't believe in transubstantiation.
That's when
the body and
actually becomes
the body,
right. Flesh.
When the bread and the wine is the actual body and blood of Christ, which is
super crazy,
super weird. If you think like who, and again, like I think a lot of times with a lot of religions,
that makes me think of that's one of my favorite things from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You're saying that like that the body and like it becomes real, and then you proceed to just eat the guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, who like at what point were people like, yeah, dude, let's fucking drink this guy's blood? Like I love that. That was my best friend. And at one point, were they actually just eating the body and blood of Christ? Were they? He's not in the cave anymore. Yeah, I don't know where he went. I don't know. You want the blood of Christ? Wait a minute. I don't know. It's bits. Yeah. I think that's the main difference between a lot of Protestant religions.
Well, and we had grape juice. We didn't have wine. Yeah.
So I was drinking the good shit.
Yes.
Like when I was like 6 years old, taking a little sip of wine. I was an altar boy as well. I was an altar server. I was very revenant too. I was into it. I was praising God all day long, walking down that aisle with that candle. Yeah, that was good. Good form. I had good form. Good candle form. Never diddled either. Never, as far as I know. I don't think any of the priests at my church.
Memories.
I was never hypnotized.
Okay.
Who was I just talking to about that? Oh, that was my friend Lee. Yeah, I've never been hypnotized, so I don't know if I have those repressed memories. And I shy away from therapy and psychologists. I do enough introspection. I don't need someone else poking around in my brain, you know? Which a lot of times it comes out on this podcast. So I'm sure this will be helpful in diagnosing whatever the fuck is wrong with me. Do you need a top off?
Yes, please. Thank you.
And we're back.
All right.
Yeah. Trying to think of a way to come back in here. Just because, I don't know, like everyone's always, I ask people to come on and there's like, well, I don't have anything interesting to say. I don't have anything interesting to talk about. Like, yeah, me neither. But it doesn't stop me.
Here we are.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have any? Do you have like? Did you have the dream of like trying to open your own restaurant or anything like that, or maybe like work up to more than just like line cook?
I had thought about that. I don't know what I want to do. I kind of want to do like food writing and
Oh, okay.
That kind of stuff.
Nice. You wanna write like the
recipes or like
the annoying cookbooks.
Yeah.
Where that people always complain about. Again, my brother, the home chef, loves those. Like, he loves all the little stories behind the recipes and all that. And I'm like, no, shut up. Like, I just want to cook. I'm hangry. I'm hangry, young, and poor. Give me just give me the recipe. I don't care that it makes you think of this and that and this. Like, just tell me how to make what I want to eat.
I think I'd like to take that angle on it, like food writing for people who hate food writing, like
kind of make it try to make it a little funny and humorous, like almost satirical, but still have like a solid recipe. Yes, nice. I'd probably check it out if you started doing that, because satire is great. I love satire. Is my favorite form of comedy. It's so applicable to everything. You can make anything. The problem is, I think today, like in this day and age, people are really bad at determining what is and isn't satire.
Well, it's because, I don't know, like the world's gotten so weird that it's like everything is satire.
Yeah, it is almost, we're just living in a parody.
Yeah.
Of a world. We're living in a parody of a beautiful world. Yeah, that's again back to like the political stuff. It's like people. I think part of the problem is that people can't pick up on satire because they're so rooted in their own bias that they assume everybody else is, and anything that's like that opposes what they think is automatically like an attack on them, rather than just like, okay. That I don't like that. I didn't think that was funny. Okay, that's cool. Whatever. I think people take themselves too seriously, and it ruins the fun. You know. So yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking today, like, I can't wait till Trump's not president anymore, though, and it's not like.
What do you think's going to happen with that? Like, is he just not going to get reelected, or is he going to get impeached? Like, how?
Well, they're moving on the articles of impeachment, which I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. Like, I don't support the guy or have any sympathy for him one bit, but I think
Mike Pence as president is going to be worse because he's like evil and smart. Like Trump, Trump is evil and dumb.
Right. Well, and that's another, like, one of the arguments in his favor is that I hear from, because, you know, we live in this area, so you hear a lot of people who are Trump supporters, and like when it was a big thing to like call him racist, you know, like that month and a half where that was the charge against him, was him being racist and a white supremacist, because there's something new like it does, like, in the defense of that mindset, it does really feel like sometimes like the super liberal left is like just throwing stuff against the wall to see what sticks, you know? Yeah. But again, I no sympathy for the guy whatsoever. But people will be like, I don't think he's racist. I think he just doesn't think about what he says. I think he's just kind of dumb. How is that a better thing? I don't want my president to be stupid or ignorant, or, you know, I don't want the rest of the world to be laughing at my president, you know, because he does have to represent me, whether I voted for him or not. That's who's representing me to the rest of the world. And, you know, picture me representing you. Would you like that? He's probably at least 5 times worse than me, you know. But to answer your question, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think he's going to be removed from office via impeachment. I don't think it's going to work. And at this point, I think it's just strengthening his base, to be honest. And but it's kind of hard to tell, because you hear a lot of his you hear like, if you watch the hearings and everything. I just said hear like 12 times. If you watch the hearings, both sides are grandstanding right now, and they're both acting very childish, and they're both like, now I'm on the side that says the Republicans are being more childish and bigger douchebags, but it is a lot of theater right now. And to me, someone who's always kind of been like an independent, it's irritating and annoying. And it's just like, guys, this is not your job. None of you are doing your job. You're just fighting with each other, and that's not what you're supposed to do. And it's been, I mean, statistically, it's been shown that the gap is just
widening. Yeah,
the party lines are just becoming thicker. So, which is not good. That's not what I want out of my government. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna be reelected or not. It's at this point, obviously at this point, it's impossible to tell. But
yeah.
And I'm no expert, so I don't want to make conjecture. But from what I see, the people who support him are doubling down, and the people who are against him are also doubling down. So it just depends on who turns up at the polls, I guess. I don't want him to be reelected. And that's the thing. Like, we have at best we have 1 more year. At worst, we have 4 more. But he's not going to be our president forever. And I don't see, like people said about Obama, oh, he's going to try to run for a third term. And it's like, he can't, and neither can Trump. So, and if that's where things start to change, then we're really, really in trouble. We can undo some of the things that have happened, hopefully, with someone else in office, but I don't know. I really don't know. It's a good question.
Okay.
What do you think?
I don't know either.
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel about impeachment and all that stuff?
For me, it is kind of scary. Since Mike Pence is not a fan of queer people,
right?
That I do not like the idea of him being in office. But I don't know. He couldn't do anything without Congress's approval. So
yeah, and now you see the way the Senate works.
Yeah.
The Republican Party is just you have to give them credit where credit's due. They know how to pick a message and stay on brand. That's, I mean, whether or not you agree with it, they gather around a central point, and that happens to be the president. Whereas Democrats and the left they're scattered. They have a lot of different ideas, and I think almost all of them are better than what we have now. But at this point, we don't seem to be able to gather around a central point and agree on how we should move forward in order to, and I hate saying this, beat the Republicans, and that's part of the problem is we've divided ourselves.
Yeah, turned it into like a game.
Yeah, it's sports, and that's not what our lives should not be sports.
Yeah.
Our lives and our freedom and the way our country is.
Well, that's the thing I think about is that seeing people like post memes and articles and everything about politics, I think like I'm so tired of hearing about it, but at the same time I'm relatively, I don't know, I'm a lower middle class white person. Like I think I will be okay, and there are other people who are going to be more affected than with these choices than I am. Right.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's something that it takes a little bit of time to learn. Again, like when I was a teenager, and even sometimes now, I'm still like, if it works for me, it works for me. I don't like I don't have control over anybody else's life, but in ways you kind of do. You kind of you're part of the whole, you know. So you brought up that you are a queer individual.
Yes.
And you still prefer, as if that changes.
They them pronouns, but I'm okay with she her. Like I've had talks with people about that. That's kind of hard. It's not like hard for me to talk about. It's just I don't know, difficult to explain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's and see, I like being who I am and having the sense of humor and the kind of stage persona that I've created. I've tried to have serious conversations with people, like, educate me, please. Like, I'm not an asshole, you know. I act like one on stage, but that's part of the persona. I don't like. I want to know people and understand the human experience. That's part of why I'm doing this, you know.
Okay.
So, and I know I made the joke when you kind of made the announcement, but I am 100% serious. I would love to be called it. I think it's so funny that it's literally like the most non-gender specific thing that you can call someone, but also the most offensive. Like, people will get the most offended if you call them an it. So yeah, how do you, like, where does that come from? You know, that's not the best terminology, but what experiences kind of drive that and bring you to that realization? Personally, you know, you can't speak for everybody, obviously. And if you don't want to talk about it, we don't have to.
I can talk about it. I just got to think of, like,
how I
want to talk. I mean, I guess if you want to, put it in terms of a fictional character, like, the best example I can think of a fictional character who is a non-binary person is, like, Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones. Have you ever watched?
Of course. Okay. Yeah,
like,
of course.
There are some people who are like, I've never seen an episode of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and I'm so cool.
Yeah.
I don't like awesome things.
Yes. But so she has she has like a male gender presentation, like, but
yes.
So she doesn't fit neatly into either box, which is like how I felt most of my life. Like, okay, I'm obviously not male, but I feel like I've never quite fit into the box of being female either. So okay. That's the simplest way I can explain it.
I kind of understand that because I don't. So I have to get over my own like insecurity trying to talk about this stuff because I'm used to people just like, no, you don't know, you couldn't understand. And it's like, I'm not an asshole. Just let me come on, let me be friendly and try to understand. But like, I was always like an emotional kid. Mm-hmm. I was sensitive. I wasn't like, I got picked on at the bus stop. Like, I was chubby, ugly. I'll show you. I'll post a picture when this episode comes out of just how I was such an ugly kid. And then like mid-20s, I was pretty fucking hot. And now I'm just back to like average. So, but I was not like the prototypical like boy, you know? Mm-hmm. I was emotional. Like, I cried at movies and even like reading books and stories and stuff. But that was more like, I had a very vivid imagination, and I could really escape reality very well. Mm-hmm. So I would get really into stories and characters that I identified with and stuff like that. But yeah, I was always a sensitive kid, and I always thought of the way I put it is which I know is kind of insensitive. Once I got older and understood certain concepts, it's like I identify as a lesbian. Like I kind of think like a woman, and I have and I'm still pretty emotional and stuff like that, and so like that part of me is kind of like the stereotypical female, but obviously like I'm still a dude, you know. I like my penis. But yeah, that's so I kind of understand not like quite feeling like you fit into like the box, you know. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Do I identify as queer now? Is that am I?
I don't know.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. I identify as just desperate. Just anybody love me, please. No. So have you? I mean, is that a fairly recent like discovery about yourself, or is it?
It's not a fairly recent discovery. I think I've kind of known that for a long time. Yeah. I just started talking about it a little bit, but okay. Some of it, like I'm okay talking about it, but I think I like tried to make jokes about it too soon, and so I've stopped talking about it less in my act.
There's nothing wrong with that. I feel the same way about my time in jail. Like people, I talk to people about it and they're like, why are you not doing a bit about this? It's hilarious. I'm like, because it's not funny to me, you know? Yeah. In my case, is a punishment that I got for doing a dumb thing. In your case, it's like something you struggled with for a long time and you're like trying to find that.
Still figure out how to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that again makes sense to me completely. I have to say, like, I'm glad that you did start coming. I'm always glad when people come to an open mic and see how horrible it is and then kind of stick with it. And you're not one of these people who's trying to be someone you're not when you're on stage. Mm-hmm. You know, there's people out there who do that. And those are the people I wish would quit. Not necessarily the people who are trying to figure it out and you know, learn how to make things funny. Like that's everybody goes through that, blah blah blah. Yeah, the people who think that they're already funny, like, no, and they're not. You know, there's people out there who think they're the greatest, and they're just not. No names. I'm not talking about anybody specifically either. Actually, it's just. Okay. You run into a lot of people.
We'll talk about that off the recording.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of someone who I could like talk shit on who wouldn't care and who might actually listen to this. It's the thing. I don't know who actually listens to it. So I just see numbers, you know, and I try not to look at those either because that's not why I'm doing it. You know, that's hour 2, baby. We hit it. We made it. Okay. We made it to the hour. I mean, we don't have to stop at an hour, but
okay. I can keep going until you're ready to stop. So
yeah.
Whatever that is. Okay, that came out.
Yeah, there we go. Now we're on the same page. Now we're on. I wasn't gonna make the joke, but
okay.
No, actually, I think that's a great place to stop. I think that's good. So again, so thanks for coming and hanging out. I mean, I'm not gonna like kick you out or whatever. Okay. You can hang out for a little bit, but I appreciate you coming on and
thank you for having me.
Yeah. Anytime. Again, like I tell everybody, like I was trying to do like have different people on all the time, but eventually I'm gonna run out of people who actually want to come and do this. So I'm gonna have to have some repeat guests, probably quite a few. As long as I don't have to do any solo episodes ever again, I'll be fine. So yeah, anytime you want to come back and hang out, and,
all right,
and talk to the universe with me.
Okay.
Yeah. So this has been Human Interaction. Thank you for listening. I'm your host, Andrew Hambleton. That's my guest, Anna Flahart.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, I hope you come back next time.